This is Geometry, Chapter 0, Section 6, in which we will be solving linear inequalities. If you remember last time we solved linear equations, and our goal was to get the variable by itself. With linear inequalities, the same rules apply with one very important difference. And we'll get to that difference after this page. So we have some inequalities to solve. X minus 17 is greater than 12. You Twitter users, you'll recognize greater than. You'll also recognize less than down here when we get to that one. To get x by itself, we need to move the 17 over. It's subtracted 17, we need to add 17. 12 plus 17, x is greater than 29. Our second problem, y plus 11 is less than or equal to negative 5. We need to get rid of the 11. Best way to get rid of a plus 11 is to subtract 11. Negative 5 minus 11, y is less than or equal to negative 16. Suppose we have a division case. K over 6 is greater than or equal to negative 11. Well, we need to multiply both sides by 6, so K is greater than or equal negative 66. What I'd like to ask for right here is to have you pause the video and solve this problem. It's a two-step problem, but I believe you can handle it. So go ahead, pause the video, solve your problem, and then check your answer. First, we need to add 5 to get it to the other side, so 3x is less than 30. And then divide by 3, x is less than 10. Now, the most important thing to remember when you're solving inequalities is what happens when you multiply or divide by a negative number. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip the sign. So important that I'm going to have it blink at you. Flip the sign when you multiply or divide by negative. Notice on the first page's problems, even though we had to subtract something or add something, that didn't change our sign. When you multiply by negative or divide by negative, that's when the sign has to flip. So let's do a couple of these. We have negative 5c greater than 30. To get c alone, we have to divide by the negative 5. Dividing by negative 5, I heard divide by negative. That tells me to flip my sign around, so the greater than becomes a less than. And then 30 divided by negative 5 is negative 6. Let's take a look at a fairly complex one. We have 4z plus 7 is greater than or equal to 8z minus 1. When we're doing inequalities, you like to have the variable on the left. It makes life easier for graphing it later and for being able to understand what your solution actually means. So I'm going to subtract the 8z to get it to the other side. So I'm going to have all my z's over here. That means I need to get rid of the 7, so I'll subtract the 7. Now, since I haven't said to myself multiply by negative or divide by negative, I don't need to flip the sign around. Collecting terms, negative 4z is greater than or equal to negative 8. Now we're going to divide by negative 4. There's where the sign flip comes in. We said divide by negative. So z is in fact less than or equal to 2. I'm going to ask you once again to pause your video, solve this problem, and then come back and check your results. So we need to subtract the 13 first. That gives us negative 20. Then we'll divide by negative 6 on both sides. So a is greater than 20 over 6 reduces to 10 thirds, or you could say 3 1/3. Or if you're a decimal user, 3.333. That's what I thought. I'll open these boxes back up for you since I changed the page. And hopefully, if you had questions along the way, you will bring those in, and we will see you in class.